All right, guys, we'll let Coach open up with a few remarks and we'll take questions.
All right. Well, our team was just, I think from my perspective, prepared and excited about playing on the road against a quality opponent. Just loved the way they thought about this trip. It's a hard trip, right? And so, you can look at it as, an early morning start, an hour bus ride, or you can look at it as a great opportunity and play in an SEC venue and be the first game on TV today, and then be the first group back in Baton Rouge tonight and relax. So our guys just thought about it. The way we presented it to them was, let's get in, let's treat this like a business trip, and let's be the first ones back in Baton Rouge tonight and enjoy a Saturday night, which they don't get many of those. So I just like the way they thought about it, and then they executed very well. Obviously, Daniels and Neighbors hooking up to the level that we've all wanted to see. We saw that tonight and today, and that's certainly fun. And if that continues to show itself, we're a pretty good football team. Defensively, there were many questions. People talking about we can't stop the run, we can't do these things. It's just a matter of getting a lot of young players and a lot of new players playing together, and it's just a matter of time. They're getting better, and we saw that today. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
Coach, the deep passing game today and throwing it deep, and in particular 4th and 6, and you throw it in the end zone for a touchdown. Your thoughts on that?
So a lot of these calls, are predicated based upon the defensive structure. If they're going to play off, maybe that's a hitch, at 7 yards. But they challenged our receivers today, and Jaden was up to the task. And we know our receivers can run. Many times we're not put in press situations, and those hitches get converted to goes. And today, they wanted to take away some of the quick, short passing game, and it presented us with higher risk, but certainly the bigger reward of pushing the ball down the field.
Bryce?
Coach, you talked about after the Florida State game, some controlled aggression from them, and you talked about when you came out after half, you could kind of feel that maybe your guys weren't matching that. Can you talk about that intensity? Because it really felt like there was some chippiness, but there was also kind of that controlled aggression.
Yeah, I think we've approached this a whole lot differently. I know I have. I know our coaches have. You see that we stretch now when we come out. It's a whole new way of presenting our mindset going into the third quarter. That was a failure on my part to recognize that with this team, and they've responded in kind in terms of the way they play now. So I like where we're going, and it's 4 quarters, and they're playing better in the second half.
Ron?
Yeah, Brian, I understand on the way to the game, y'all stopped at a car dealership or a walkthrough. Whose idea was that, and what did you do? Spur of the moment? Or?
All good ideas are my ideas. So it worked, so we'll consider it my idea. It was, when we looked at the trip as being over an hour, I felt like I didn't want the team sleeping and falling asleep on the bus. So we found a spot that we used one of our car dealers to make a call, and there was a dealership right off the highway. We pulled the buses and we did our substitution drill just to get our guys up, thinking about their substitution on special teams. We did a little light stretch. It was only about 10 minutes, but it got them up, it got them alert, and the idea again was just to break up the trip. So that was about 45 minutes, and then we only had about 20 minutes and coming in. So it really just again, it's just the way you think about it. And so they felt like, hey, we got 20 minutes. Then we came in, we had one more our pregame video. We did it in the locker room instead of at the hotel, just to get the guys an edge, and I think it worked pretty good.
Cobble?
You talked about having young guys make plays, not having Brooks. When did you know about that? And what do you think your defense was able to do without him back there?
Yeah, we had a lot of guys that we weren't sure. Mason Taylor went through pregame, and he just wasn't 100%, so we held him. Ovi Thursday turns an ankle in pass rush, and we really couldn't get him healthy to hold the edge. He did some stuff as the punt captain. He handles the cadence and the block rules, so we kept him in and punt, but he really couldn't help us on defense. Omar was out with the hip flexor. So we had a lot of guys down, and we just found out about Greg had a medical emergency, and our thoughts and prayers are with Greg, and he that was tough on the guys and tough on all of us. So we had to just band together and play some young guys. We started a true freshman and Witt and Omar's absence, and you saw Ryan Yates playing our nickel package, another true freshman. So a lot of young guys getting some work and doing a pretty good job.
Koki?
Was today the best game you've seen Jaden play at LSU?
Without question. I mean, he was 30 for 34. I think he had 12, 13 in a row at one time. 30 for 34, 85. I mean, he was accounted for over 440 something yards. That's there won't be a better performance in the country. If there is, that would be amazing. So pretty good stuff there. Threw the ball, had really worked hard the past week of getting on top of his throws. He had been a little bit low in terms of trajectory. We saw that against Grambling, and he worked hard with Malik after practice of getting on top of his throws, and it was great to see that come to fruition.
John?
You mentioned Witt. What do he and Penn bring to the linebacker core that you maybe haven't had so far this season?
Well, I don't know if it's that as much as, Witt can run. You can see that, right? He can go from sideline to sideline. He sees an open gap, he's going to take it. You saw that early in maybe the first series where he shot the gap and we got a TFL. So he recognizes he's athletic. He can run sideline to sideline. Doesn't have maybe the experience that Omar has. And Greg Penn's a settling, player out there. He knows the defense. He's assignment correct. He gets guys lined up. He's a main cog. The guys really feel comfortable with him out there.
Wilson?
Y'all were so active on the defensive front, in particular with 4 sacks and 4 hurries. What do you think was allowing y'all?
Who was that?
Y'all just as a team
Yeah.
were so active on the defensive front. What do you think was maybe allowing that to happen in this game, and what you overall think about it?
So there were a couple of things. One, we played a little bit more 4 down. We got into some more 4 down structure. If you look at the last couple of quarterbacks that we played, they were pretty athletic quarterbacks. Today was not the most athletic quarterback that we've played this year, but the Crowley kid from Grambling, extremely athletic kid, hard to get it, and certainly the kid from Florida State. If you're a pocket quarterback, we're going to get to you. And if you are a play action team that doesn't get the ball out in 2 seconds, we're going to get some pressure. We've got some pretty good guys up front. Smith, Wingo, Womack got some pressure today, and of course 4 gets pressure all the time. It's just, the ball just comes out quickly in the first 2 opponents, and today, if you take any time, we're going to get to you.
Great. Back here, Malik, how and why did it all come together for him today?
Well, it's kind of what I talked about. First of all, we've targeted him 13 times last week, so it's not like he hasn't been targeted. I think we were more accurate with some of the throws, and look, we had a double move for a touchdown. Twice he got pressed on the outside. My question would be why? Because when you do that, we're going to go to those matchups. But as you saw, they brought a lot of pressure, and when you bring a lot of pressure, we're gonna try to find that matchup, and I thought Jaden did a great job of seeking out Malik in those matchups and getting him the ball.
Coach has time for 2 more. Rab and then Chester.
Can you, obviously, maybe it's not much you can say. Do you hope to have Brooks back? Can you say
I really wouldn't be able to comment on it until we get a full medical report.
And did your team need this game, for confidence and stuff, or was there inside the program were you in better shape than maybe people gave you credit for?
I don't know what people thought outside because I don't listen to. Of course, I read everything that you guys say, voraciously. I mean, whatever you say, it's always right. I really don't listen to those things as much as what I felt our team needed to do was play for 4 quarters an SEC opponent and play the right way. We knew that we had a better talented team than Grambling, and we respect our opponent. But we needed this game. But it wasn't the need for confidence. It was the need to go and validate who we were. And I think our guys feel really good about themselves because they knew what they had, but they needed to go out and prove it based upon the bad taste that was left in their mouth in the way they played in the second half against Florida State.
Chester, last one.
So going into this ball game, obviously you just talked about how you don't really hear the outside noise. Do you feel like your defense took it a little personal this week? Because even in pregame, there was a different vibe, different just emotion.
They've been edgy, listening to the noise about what they can't do, and it was circumstantial in the sense that the Grambling game, we were in some dime, drop 8 stuff, and we had a couple of guys that hadn't played much, and we let a couple of gaps go. We weren't concerned about it, but we wanted to be challenged. And we've got some competitive guys. Mason Smith grabbed me after our Tuesday practice, which we went live on Tuesday, which I generally don't do when we go into the season. We went live and tackled on Tuesday because I was prompted by our defensive players. They wanted to go live, and in particular Mason was like, now that's a real practice. They have been pushing to go longer and harder in practice, and I think that had a lot to do with them wanting to get this opportunity to show that they're a better defense than they've let people believe.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
We'll do players outside.
Downstairs?
Yeah, where they